All right. Thanks for tuning in to More Time Financial live webinar. So what we're going to be covering today is Managing Your Money 101. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ross Barrett and my business is More Time Financial. So we are a financial planning, money management and financial education business based on the Gold Coast. So if you haven't already checked out our other videos, we've got a couple of videos on there called Gen Y Advice, which we cover a range of different topics. So we've been getting a ton of questions to go into a bit more detail on different areas of finances and money and how to manage your money. So what we wanted to do is put together a regular segment on using Facebook Live and also on Instagram Live, just to cover off a few more things that people want to know and a few questions that we get asked. So thought we'd kick it off with our first episode on Managing Your Money 101. So this is a really big area for young people, is managing your money, because it's not really something where we get taught to do, or we never really get told how to do it. We kind of just leave school and get thrown into work or go to university, and it's just kind of left to our own devices to try and learn and navigate the way what credit cards are and how to set up your bank account properly and what a budget means and how you use it. And if you want to save for something big, how you actually do it. So being a young person, it's really tricky to try and navigate your way through personal finances. And what usually happens is we either figure it out and do a really good job, or most people do a really bad job and get tempted by credit cards and buying things online and spending a lot of money that unfortunately we can't afford, and end up in credit card debt or personal loan debt. So we wanted to jump in today and tick off a few things that we like to go through with clients about properly managing money, and really just starting off with the basics. And hopefully if we can get that groundwork in, then we can look at maybe doing things a bit more complicated down the track. So first thing we want to start off with today is the bank account structure, or how to set up your bank account properly so you cannot be tempted into using the money you have in your savings or your bank account, and really just forcing yourself into good habits. So making sure that you're not using your credit card and not getting into any debt. So this is a outline of what we usually see for people. So you can see on here, this is a typical setup that we see when people come in to chat with us. They have one bank account and they just can't figure out why they can't save money, and they're struggling to save money and they just don't know what to do. And when expenses come around, they're just scrambling around to try and find money to use and to pay for those expenses. So this is a typical outline of what we see. We have one bank account. You can see here all the income comes in at the top, and then all the expenses come out when those expenses are due. So this might be your fuel, your spending money, your groceries, your phone bills, your private health insurance, and all those bills that come out. So that's fine if you have the money in your bank account, but what happens when a big bill comes up, or maybe a really large irregular bill that you weren't expecting comes up, or your car needs servicing, or maybe you have an emergency like your car breaks down, or your washing machine or your fridge breaks that you need to replace in a matter of time. So what usually happens is people kind of just spend the money that they have in their bank account, and then whatever's left at the end of the week is either considered a good week or considered a bad week, and usually will dictate what you're buying for groceries the following week, whether it's a nice dinner out with your partner or friends, or whether you're staying at home eating 2-minute noodles. So what we wanted to do is to show you an outline of what we see, or what we think is a better representation of a good bank account setup or a good bank account structure. So write down any questions in the chat below if you want me to cover off anything, or if I'm going too fast, but this is what we typically recommend or suggest to people to think about. So obviously everyone's personal circumstances are going to be different, and whether or not they can have different bank accounts or multiple accounts is going to be a different story. But just at a high level, without going into too much detail, this is what we like to use as a template. So you can see here, setting up multiple bank accounts. So here we've got 5 different bank accounts. So why we want to do that is because we want to label every bank account for a different purpose. So bank account number 1 is going to be your spending account. So this is where your income could get paid into, and then you want to direct transfer or direct debit everything out of that account into other bank accounts. So what we would have in a typical spending account would be money for fuel, whether you get paid fortnightly or weekly, that's a different story, but you leave the money in there for fuel, spending, and entertainment, and maybe groceries as well. So what's going to happen, the money's going to come in, all your direct transfers, all your transfers are going to come out, and what's going to be left in there is any money that you can spend for the next week or the next fortnight. So you might get paid on a Thursday night, or your direct transfers come out first thing Friday morning, and you're going to be left in there with money for fuel, money for entertainment or spending for that week, and also groceries. So you can see here in number 2 is what we like to call our regular expenses account. So this is going to be set up for those regular expenses that come up maybe every week, every fortnight, or maybe every month. So what this might include is your phone bill, your private health insurance, your internet, your electricity for the house you're staying at, your gym membership if you have one, and maybe your rent depending on how that's set up. So the beauty of this is by working out how much money you need to put into your regular expense account. As soon as your money goes in there, you know that when a bill comes up that week or that fortnight, you've got the money there to spend, or the money to allocate to those expenses. So you're not going to be running around or trying to dip into your savings. You're going to be taking money out of your regular expenses account. So account number 3, what we've got set up here, is your irregular expenses account or your big bills account. So this is those expenses that maybe only roll around every 3 months, or maybe every 6 months or 12 months. So there's bigger ones that don't come up on a regular basis, and these are the ones that a lot of people get stung with and don't allocate any money for. So what this might include, as you can see on the list here, is your car registration that maybe you pay every 6 or 12 months, your driver's license renewal, which sometimes can only come up maybe every 2 or 3 years, your personal insurance, if you have any, your car needs servicing maybe every 6 or 12 months, so you need to allocate money for that, and then also your passport renewal. So if you're a keen traveller like I am, you need to make sure that your passport's up to date, and this can be a costly exercise that rolls around every 3 years. So that's your irregular expenses account. The next account, which we've got at number 4, is your emergency fund or your emergency account. So this is a great account to have that you need to allocate some money for. We recommend at a bare minimum you have at least $1,000 in there at all times. So this isn't meant to be used for a holiday. This isn't meant to be used for entertainment or going out on the weekends. This is used for any emergencies that pop up. So this might include your car breaking down, maybe you need new tires, maybe your fridge is broken down and you need to replace that. You get a speeding fine or a parking fine. Maybe you need to go to the hospital for an emergency, or you get a dental bill that you weren't expecting to pay and your private health doesn't cover. So anything that that you don't expect to come up, we put into emergency account. And as I said, as a rule of thumb, we like to have a minimum of $1,000 in there at all times. The final account, which is number 5, is your holiday savings. So again, if you like traveling or if you're saving for a trip or anywhere in particular, you need to allocate money for your trip, so you're not taking a loan or using a credit card for this. So this might be a matter of putting in $100 a week or however much you want to spend on a holiday and allocating money for there. So that's when holiday rolls around, you know you've got the money allocated for it. So hopefully by looking at those different accounts and how we've structured things, we'll give you a better idea of the types of things that we look at. And hopefully by setting something up like this might help you to be a better saver and maybe put your budgeting skills to work. So what I recommend you do is either approach your current bank and ask them if you can set up multiple accounts like this, or maybe you move to a new bank. It just depends on your personal circumstances. And without knowing that, I can't make any suggestions on which bank or account you should go to. But ideally, you want to find one that has zero or minimal account fees, so monthly account fees or minimal fees in general, really. So you don't want to be paying anything extra that could be going towards your emergency or your savings. So you want to make sure that you're paying as little fees as possible, because you set up multiple accounts. If you're paying $4 or $5 a month on each account, that can add up pretty quickly. So we're going to be looking at putting together these regular Facebook Live shows for you. So if you have any topics that you have in mind that you would like us to cover in a little bit more detail, please let us know and write your comments in below, or shoot us an email at info@moretimefinancial.com.au. Check out our website, and hope you found this useful, and we'll see you next time.